expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
When the static of life fills your brain and the world seems a little too insane, just twist that dial, don't hesitate. There's a haven where good vibes await. Tune in and Take 12 for some joy and cheer. It's the sound of hope coming in crystal clear. Recovery talk and music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Well, come on in, sit on down, put your feet up, enjoy the show. You are about to embark on another episode of the world's oldest and original recovery talk and recovery and positive music radio station and podcast, the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show with Roger McDermott from Huntington Beach, California. Our extremely special guest, and he's kind of special, Tommy Buddha, is joining us. There he is. The Make Believe Take 12 Recovery Orchestra. A little useless and mindless information. And of course, the Monty Man's Weekly Wine. On this episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. Hold on to your recovery horses. Once again, it's going to be an excellent ride.
Recovery talk and music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Diddly diddly biddly bum whatever that means. Roger, what the heck's going on there, buddy? How's Huntington Beach, California?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Absolutely gorgeous here. Had a wonderful Father's Day weekend, and I'm anxious to hear Tommy and do the show.
Yeah, and Tommy's back with us. Welcome back. This is his third, his Thursday. Years ago, we met at the 12th Music Fest. Yeah, the Music Fest in the Florida Keys.
Nice.
Don Wilder and the gang over there. And we've been friends ever since, although we haven't been in contact for a while. And then a few weeks back, we kind of hooked back up and did a show. And now we got something really, really special going on that we're going to be talking about here in just a few minutes. Regarding a brand new podcast that is going to be part of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Network of podcasts that I think you are really going to enjoy, listeners. And so we're going to be talking about that here in just a minute. But hey, listen, as far as useless and mindless information. Today is National Turkey Lovers Day. Even if you... Hello. I don't know. I don't know. What are you, brown meat or white meat guy, Tommy? What do you like? Both?
Me? I like the whole turkey.
The whole bird.
Yeah,
the whole bird. Yeah, the whole bird.
There isn't a part of the bird that I don't like.
Yeah.
Okay. Roger, what about you?
The whole bird. Like it.
The whole bird?
Yep. The whole bird.
All right.
I do like the stick, the drumstick. I love the drumstick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a white meat guy. There's something about the brown meat in poultry that disturbs my tummy. I don't know what it is.
Wah.
It's just a little wah. But yeah, this is actually a registered day with the National Registry of Days, or whatever that means.
It means somebody had nothing to do.
Somebody had absolutely nothing to do. Let's see, and then we got this.
Excuse me for a minute. Hey everybody, it's that time of the show where the Monty Man whimpers and whines about something he's powerless over. It's the Monty Man's Weekly Whine.
Join the dance of life, leave your worries behind.
There you go. I'm giving that to you before I even get to the end of my wine. We'll do it again here in a minute, though. I know you love it. Okay, here it is. Here it is. The one thing this week that I am totally powerless over, that I probably shouldn't be complaining about, but I'm going to anyway. Wah. Kleenex boxes. Now, you open up that little paper tab and you pull it back. And first of all, I don't appreciate it when pieces of the cardboard are left on the perforated edge. That really irritates me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Come on. There you go, right? See? Yeah. See? Look. That section, if you're watching on our streaming, that section right here, this little round, you pull the tab off, and it leaves little pieces of stuff. And then you got this plastic cellophane thing, and you got to reach in, and you got to dig to get the first piece out. In fact, usually what happens is you get like 9 pieces out all at one time to get the thing going. See,
That ain't
so
right.
they're out to get you. They want you to waste it so you'll buy more. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. It's not a theory if it's real.
Monty, my box doesn't have all that.
Well, how come? But you got to take the top off, right? You got to take the little.
But it didn't leave anything around there, and I pulled one out, and it was good.
If you look really close, see? Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Right there.
What you got to do is you got to get one of these.
There you go.
Oh.
See?
Wow. Look
Then
at
you pull it up, and then you just.
Don't you love
That's
Tom?
why I'm here,
Please get
Monty.
the
I'm
answer.
here for you, man.
Yeah.
You,
That's why I'm
you are-
here.
I'm
You
so
can even put it back in,
I'm,
which I
So-
do after I use it.
I was
Because I don't
sitting,
want to waste it.
I was sitting in the studio the other day trying to think of something to complain about. Because these days it's pretty hard to find anything to complain about. That's valid, right, Roger?
Yep.
Yep. No valid complaints.
No valid complaints.
And I was having allergy issues, and I opened up a new box of Kleenex, and I thought, this is it. This is the wine for the week. Because this matters so much, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't it really,
It's-
in the stream of life? It is like a huge deal. There you go.
Life
That's
is
it.
tough. Life is tough.
Yeah. It's really tough. That's
It's really hard, man.
a major problem right there.
Let me
Amazing.
tell you something. The truth be told, there was a time something like that really, I'm telling you, really, really would push me over the edge. It's like, just one more thing today. Just one more. Right? And then I'd open the Kleenex box, and that'd be it.
That'd be the one
That'd be
thing.
it. I'm off to the liquor store. Oh, my goodness sake. All right. That does it for the Monty Man's weekly wine. We're gonna do something here that you need to listen to closely. We're gonna come back and we're gonna be talking to Tommy Buddha about a brand new podcast here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. So don't go away. We'll be back right after this, I think.
Kleenex.
Life's too short to let the blues bring you down.
Huh?
Week after week, what's the use of the grind? Join the dance of life, leave your worries behind.
Hey, everybody, come celebrate with me and the incredible recovery community of Lynn County, Oregon, as we gather together for the 11th annual Recovery in the Park. Tuesday, July 22nd from 5 to 8:30 p.m. at beautiful Bryant Park, Albany, Oregon. We're going to have live music, raffles, community resource fair, activities for the kids, and free burgers and dogs. So come on and celebrate with me and all my friends at this year's Recovery in the Park. Tuesday, July 22nd from 5 to 8:30 p.m. at beautiful Bryant Park, Albany, Oregon.
Yeah. Woohoo!
This is Tom Williams
and Alicia Martinez, and we'd like to invite you to join us right here at Take12Radio.com for the Came to Believe Recovery podcast.
Topics will include a deep look into the how and why the 12-step movement was so successful in the past and how it can experience that success again today.
And I came to believe in a power much higher than I.
Hello, this is the Blues Buddha. You're listening to Take12Radio.com with the Monty Man.
I knew we had something like that in the bumper music file. Alrighty, before we introduce Tommy here, listen, Brian Gogarty, a longtime listener who is living with some severe issues surrounded around cancer, homelessness, and the inability to get his meds and things like that, has reached out to Take 12 Recovery Radio, and I always say, you receive not because you ask not. So I encourage people, if you need help, ask, right? What's the worst that can happen? And so we brought this up last week, and so far nobody's taken a bite to help him out. But if you would like to help him out, this isn't a scam. It's not anything weird. Just a listener that's hurting. I can put you in touch with him. I got his phone number, his address, and all that kind of stuff. At the very least, please put him on your prayer chain. Think about him. Send some positive vibes out there. Brian Gogarty is his name. And, we wish you the best, Brian. I told you that I would bring this up again, and I want to be true to my word here. And listen, if you would like us to pray for you, or to just let people know that you're hurting and you would like some some positive thoughts and that kind of thing, let us know. I mean, we can do that. Now, I got to tell you, I normally don't bring things up as far as finances go, or money, or asking for that kind of thing. It is very rare that I'll ever do that. In Brian's case, I think it's a valid request. And so if you can help him, that would be great. Just let me know. You can email me here at Take12Radio. It's TAKE, the number 12, radio at Comcast.net. And I'll put you in touch with him. All right. So Tommy Buddha is our special guest, and he is soon to go from being a guest to being a podcaster on our network. And there is a new podcast that is going to be launched. And so far, we're going to tape it on the 2nd, I believe, still, right, Tommy?
Yep, that's the way it
And
works.
then we'll actually get launched on Friday, the 4th. It'll be launched on the 4th of July. So that'd be really cool.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. Yes, indeed.
I don't know. Maybe we ought to rethink this.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Jimmy Cagney, way to go.
Oh my goodness sakes. So we're excited about this. And one of the things that Tommy and I talked about, and have talked about every time we get together, is a word that's probably many people think is worn out, and I don't think it's worn out at all, and that's positivity. I mean, it gets misused, but it is not hard to find negativity in the world today, or ever has been. I mean, it's pretty easy. Come on. I was telling Tommy off the air, Roger, I said, because yesterday I noticed there were downtown Albany, there were protesters. There were like the No Kings protesters, and then there was the anti-MAGA protesters, and then there was the My Big Toe Hurts protesters, and
And there was the Kleenex
and then the
protesters. That was you.
right. And I'm like, I'm so done. I mean, and it was a beautiful day out. I was like, what if you all just stopped for 5 minutes, walked across the street, gave each other a hug, and thanked the good Lord for the day. It was an actually gorgeous day, but no, so, okay, let them do what they're going to do. We got a podcast coming up that's going to be focused on what, Tommy? And I'm going to kind of turn it over to you and let you talk about this.
Okay, it's called Step Up to the Front of the Line, because, a lot of people don't want to step up to the front of the line. They want to complain about things. They want to be on the sidelines. They want to be in the back line. They want to be in the headlines. They want to be on the protest line. But you got to step up to the front of the line. That's where the change happens. And some of the things that you were talking about, a couple of things. Now, positivity is not popular. Positive is not popular. It doesn't sell anything. Nobody cares about positive. They want to hear who hurt somebody. They want to hear all the nonsense, but they don't want to hear all the good stuff, right? And it's not about rainbows and sunshine and unicorns. This is about what you do yourself to make a difference. And I loved how you opened up this thing talking about this gentleman who's in trouble. If we all just did one thing, every one of us did one thing every day that was positive, at the end of the year, we'd be 365% better, right? Because that's all we would need. Now, if everybody did that, forget about it. And it's not selling the sunshine. It's just talking about personal responsibility, what we should be doing to help the next person. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really take a lot of effort to be nice. Like my mother used to say, I got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. And that's how I was brought up. But, the reality is the world is a little bit crazy right now. There's a lot of things going on. It's chaotic. It's like a reality show. It's a bad reality show, actually. So what are you doing? What are we doing? How are we going to change it? Because the only thing I'm responsible for, I'm not here to react. I'm here to respond. I'm here to be able to do whatever's necessary to change that in the right direction. So how do I do that? I step up to the front of the line, which is what I'm going to call this podcast. It's about stepping up to the front of the line. I wrote a little ditty about it. I wrote a song that I'm going to record that I'll play for you. I don't have it now, but I will.
Right. Will.
It's about, pulling out the weeds so you can see the flowers, because there are weeds in life, but we can't ignore that. We can't ignore that. It's constant, never-ending improvement. It's constantly trying every day to do something better, taking responsibility. So that's what I'm focused on when I'm doing this. And I was going to focus, and I'm also going to focus on trying to bring things to people's attention. There's a lot of people on the ground out there, the people that are on the front lines, the people that do make a difference. And in today's world, they are struggling. I know a lot of really strong charities and nonprofits that have no money. They have no money. And
there's money out there. There's money out there.
Tons of money out there.
Tons of money out there. Yeah.
There's tons of money. If you want to get into one of my things, if I want to whine, but it's not really a whine, it's a reality. During, we had the opioid crisis. And during the opioid crisis, they sued all these companies to get money. And that went to the states. The states are holding that money. There's millions and millions of dollars that they don't give to anybody. They hold on to it to give, substance, treatments. And they're telling people that they should be on substances, because we all know that a substance will cure a substance problem. If we give you a substance, you won't have to take the other one. You'll be busy with that one.
Drugs. Yeah, treating drug addiction with drugs.
Treating drug addiction with drugs. So there's so many things going on out there. And recently I ran into a couple of charities that are doing such great things, and every one of them I talk to are struggling. And they're on the front lines. And I want to bring some of them people in here to talk about, what they're doing and show that, people do step up. And all this stuff you see online, if you're online and you're posting and you're complaining, I really don't want to hear it. Meet me on the street, meet me on the front line, and I'm not gonna push that on anybody. I'm just gonna say it's your responsibility, especially if you're in recovery. Yeah, I tell people all the time, we have a lot of work to do, because when I got clean in 1993. And I was very fortunate at the time when I got clean. People were all doing service, because at that time we had the crack epidemic. We had all things that were going on. So we were going into all these facilities, and we felt like we were saving the world. And I I'm still hang out with a lot of these people with 30 or 40 years clean or sober, and they're still that type of person. They still want to go out there and change the world, and I think that that's the responsibility of the people in recovery. So that's the stuff I want to talk about.
Tommy, the title of the service movement within the 12-stepper is called Hospitals and Institutions.
Yes.
H&I. I don't know about where you're at because you're on the other side of the country. Where exactly are you again?
I'm on the moon.
You're on the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, you kind of.
I'm in New York.
You're in New York,
right?
And so I'm not sure what it's like there, but over here on the West Coast, you just don't hear H&I. You don't hear it much. There used to be, that was huge. You'd have H&I conventions. We would make, and I'm talking now to those of us within the 12-step communities, whatever fellowship, pick your poison. But we would make the approach. We would go out and make the approach instead of waiting for people to come to us. When did that flip? When did we stop doing that?
Well, there's a lot of things that happened since I don't know how long you in the program now?
Me, over 30 years.
Over 30 years. Well, 30 years ago, like I said, it was a different animal, and especially in my fellowship, because in New York, there was no fellowship in the 80s in New York. It started in the 80s. It really kicked off in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So everybody was like doing work. They just wanted to help. They just wanted to, and plus they had the AIDS epidemic, and they were blaming us for that. They were blaming drug addicts, and they were saying, so we were helping people that were dying. We were helping people. We just went out and did work, and the service was not something that they asked you to do. It was something they told you to do when I came in. Like they would bring you, you got time? You're going over here and you're going to do something. And I'm so grateful that's how it was where I was. Yeah. It's not like that here now either and I think a lot of it has to do with, COVID, a lot of things changed with that made it harder. And it's not as strong as it was, but it's coming back in my area.
I think so. I think you're right. Roger, what about you? You're very active in, you could kind of say H&I. I mean, you go and volunteer time at the Salvation Army down where you live every week, right? And do your thing with the Came to Believe folks.
Yeah, I mean, it became my purpose, my calling. So it wasn't something that somebody had to tell me to do. It was part of what I learned was my purpose. And it says it in the book, and it says it all over the place in recovery, that our purpose is to be of maximum service to God and to others. And so that's our service. That's what we should do. And once I found my purpose and my calling, I love doing it. There is nothing better than I know when I'm doing exactly what God called me to do. There's no better feeling in the world than that, period. Mm-hmm. None. Not the best high, not the fastest car, not the best sex, not the biggest paycheck, mansion. Nothing compares to that. Nothing.
Yeah, I would agree. Would you agree, Tommy?
Well, it's funny. I do agree 100%. Yeah. When I came here, I tried to get clean, sober, whatever, in 1984. I got clean in 1993. It took me 10 years to get clean. And the difference was when I came back in 93, the people that were in the fellowship were so strong in recovery and H&I and all this other stuff, they would drag me. I had 30 days, 60 days, and I'd be at like P&I meetings, public information. What was I doing there? I was like a lunatic, right? And they would drag me. And then I realized there was a back door to this thing. Because every time that I came before, I just go to a meeting and say, I'm sentenced to sit here and listen to people whine, like, about Kleenex and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
And then the guy bring me to a service commitment, and they'd all be talking about changing things and helping people. And like, you just said, Roger, right? It was Roger?
Yeah.
You said that it became my purpose. It became who I was. It's no longer anything that bothers me to do. I want to do it.
Yes.
Because I feel like I belong somewhere. I feel like I'm doing something about things. And that's what I mean by step up. step up to the front of the line. Be that person that shows up. Be that person that builds their self-esteem. Because when I came in here, I had no esteem. And then they brought me to a place and I helped somebody and they were asking my advice. I was like, wow, somebody wants my advice. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Don't take it. I'll give it to you. But, here it is.
Listeners, we're talking to Tommy Buddha, and we're talking about the brand new podcast, Buddha Time, Step Up to the Front of the Line with Tommy Buddha, launching July 4th, Friday, July 4th, here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. Of course, our main website is take12radio.com on your internet dial, and you'll be able to listen to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. It'll be on all major podcasting platforms. And, we're going to be talking to people that have stepped up. We're going to be talking to people that are making a difference. Scheduled, and I think if everything goes well, we'll have him on to talk a little bit about Static, Tommy.
Well, me and Static, we've been working
Who is
together.
Static? A lot of people don't know.
Static is a musician out of New York. He calls himself Static. His name is Vincent Scrow, and he used to be in a band called Hours, and he toured all over the world. And he no longer plays with that band. He was the guitar player for it. But he's a recording engineer. He plays every instrument. He's a really solid guy. And I met Static when we were working for an organization called Road Recovery. And me and Static were working together when COVID broke out. We had just started working together that year. And together, when COVID broke out, we were sitting in the house. We didn't know what to do, so we pulled out the book. I said, "You got a book?" and we read Bill's story.
I love it.
And then we started, like we said, well, if they're not going to let us work, we got to do something else, And we started making meetings online, and then we started brainstorming together, me and Static and Road Recovery people, and we created a new program that ended up getting a grant from the federal government, working in clubhouses all over the state of New York with youth. So I ended up coming out of COVID smelling like a rose because of Static and my ideas and Road Recovery's ideas as a unit. We called it the Power of We. And he's a real force. He works now. During COVID, he started doing things online, a clubhouse. It's just a call-in thing. And he started working with a company called Reframe. So in the middle of all his creative energy and all the things he's doing, and this is something else I'd like people to see about people out there. You see something, you look at somebody, but you don't know what they're doing in the background. And Static every day is on Reframe. It's this organization that he talks to people that are sober curious. Because everybody out there has, this, AA, NA, I don't know, it's not for me. That's not my tribe, whatever. Some people are on Suboxone, some people are on this. And God bless. I don't care what you do to get clean. And he leads groups. I think he does about 6 or 7 a week or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's just a force. He's a great man. He's so talented, and so I'm looking forward to bringing him here.
Monty, we got to get him on the show. Get him on the show.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well, he'll be So we'll have him on Buddha Time, and then we'll step up to the front of the line, and then we'll
hear a little line from my song. Step up to the front of the line. Step up. Stop wasting your time. Work on yourself hour after hour. Step up to the front of the line.
You're going to be hearing more of that. That's going to be the theme song. But yeah, you're right, Roger. Then we'll steal them and we'll bring them over to Monday's show. This is. We've talked, Roger, at length before about, and we do the weekly wine. It's a tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like these are problems of convenience. I mean, really, you're upset because of the stupid Kleenex? I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
And so we tease around about that, but it really is an issue. This attraction to the negative, and you're right, Tommy. When you were talking about it not being popular, most of what you see on television, it's almost like modern day gladiatorism, right? I mean, let's watch people devour each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting? You know, from shows like Big Brother to Survivor. I mean, the reality shows where it's all about. It cracks me up because these people are on these shows and then they get upset when somebody lies or betrays them. The whole thing's about lying and betrayal. That's what it's about. It's like, and yet we flock to the screen to watch this stuff, and I got to ask myself, you know, myself starting with me, how healthy is that? Really? Would I allow somebody in my living room to act that way? Probably not. But am I not doing that? So why not? And we talked about this before, Roger. If you're complaining about something, let's use an example, a 12-step meeting. Well, those guys, you know, it's toxic and this and that. Okay, what are you bringing to the table to change it?
Yep.
If you're going to spend the energy complaining about it, and I don't mean just one incident, but for a week now, you've been whining about so-and-so at the meeting. What are you doing to be a positive force for change in that situation? And unfortunately, there's too many of us that would have to, if we'd be honest, would have to say, oh, yeah, maybe not too much.
It's a funny story. When I first came into recovery, there was a guy that sponsored me. He's no longer with us. This guy Frankie, and I could give his whole name. He wouldn't care because everybody knew who he was. And I got high with him, and I came to the meetings, and he had like 3 years clean when I came in. And I used to complain to Frankie. He says, "You got a problem?" He says, "With the group?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Join it." He says, "If you don't join it, shut up."
Yeah.
And he was a tough guy. You know, he was that's how he would look at me. He'd go, he says, "Tommy," he says, "you're important, but you're not that important."
Yeah.
You know, he's the guy who taught me so much about what service was. I used to complain to him, and he used to send me to the front of the, he'd say, "Listen, man, I'm here for me. You'll talk to me after the meeting." He says, "But I got news for you." He says, "If you got a problem, go greet people at the door. You know, go hug somebody at the door." And I say, "Well, how's that going to make me feel better?" Don't you hear what aren't you listening to me, Frank?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would go to the door and I would hug somebody, and the guy would be like, "You know, my wife left me." I said, "Well, my wife didn't leave me. I don't even have a wife." Right? You know, I mean, like, and then I would feel better by doing that action. He used to say, "Move a muscle, change a thought." He said, "Go wash the dishes." I said, "How's washing the dishes going to make me feel better, Frank?" He goes, "It will. Just move a muscle, change a thought. Get out of your mind. You're important, but you're not that important." And that's the stuff that we have to remember. We have to remember that. And that's the core of my program. Frankie sponsored me for I think he sponsored me for 90 days. And in 90 days, that's the core of my program. That's my purpose. That's what I believe. When I'm in trouble, I go to a meeting. When I'm in trouble, I call somebody. When I'm in trouble, it's the pause. The recovery's in the pause. Right? I stop for a minute. Well, maybe, this is me in the drama world. This is me, the world's against me. Everybody hates me. And my first thought is a bad one. Right? So I need to get out of myself and get into something else.
Right.
And that's what most people don't do. Most people lay there and they not most people. I'm not gonna say most people. A lot of people. A lot of people do. But I like to surround myself with the people that step up.
I had a discussion with one of my boys the other day, and he was telling me about something that I had done that upset somebody else, and I said, "Wow, that's giving me an awful lot of power." And he goes, "Don't do your radio stuff with me." and I'm like, yeah, but I'm right. And I had to step back from that and think, okay, what was he really saying? I was trying to fix him, right? And what he was just trying to share something with me. And I was immediately in, okay, I got to fix this. We can be positive and have a positive influence and bring good stuff to the table without trying to change everybody, right? Don't you think, Roger?
Yeah, I agree. It's about doing the right thing, not being right. It's about showing show me by your actions. Don't tell me by your words. And it's all about that. It's like my sponsor would always say to me, if you always do what you've always done, you already got what you're going to get.
You're going to get
And I hated that because it shuts you up on the spot. It's like, stop complaining and bring something to the table. Like, step up, just like Tommy's talking about.
Step up.
Step up.
Yeah.
Shut up and show me something positive, It's like, nope.
And you got to try to do that without being confrontational too.
Right.
It's not about confronting somebody and saying they're not doing the right thing.
No.
It's about saying, hey, listen, what do you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about love. It's about love and
It's about
respect,
love.
and it's about showing love instead of talking about it.
Right.
I'm a professional talker, like all of us are. When I've been in sales for 51 years, and today when I'm in recovery, I'm not selling anything. I'm reporting to people precisely what happened to me, and so it's this is a report. This is the truth, and it changed my world. It changed everything in my world. And if I can share it with you, and that makes a difference to you, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. So it's been, and that thing, all those things that Mom and Dad used to tell us, Tommy, just like you said, if you got nothing good to say, don't say anything. And all those stupid cliches we heard as a kid are all 100% true. I'm like,
You know what my favorite one was? Tell me who you're hanging with. I'll tell you how you live it.
yeah, yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the one? Okay, if you walk around with that frown on your face is going to get stuck like that forever.
My mom used
My
to.
mother was a great philosopher. She used to hit me with all sorts of ones. Some of them I can't say here because this is G-rated.
The one that is absolutely not true, though, because I tried it and it never happened, is if you eat the watermelon seeds, a watermelon will grow in your tummy.
I never heard that one.
Never happened.
Oh, I did. But now my tummy did end up looking like a watermelon at one point. Right, Tommy? But we took care of that, didn't we, brother?
We did, and that's another thing that when I'm talking about step up to the front of the line, I'm not only talking about step up to the front of the line to step out and do things. Some people don't step up to the front of the line because they don't take care of themselves.
Right.
Because recovery is this is a self-caring program. It's not a selfish program. It's not a selfless program. Because self-caring, the definition of selfish program got me here. That means I have no concern for others. That's the definition. I said get a dictionary when I got here. Selfish means with no concern for others. Selfless means with no concern for yourself. So you can't be either of those. But if you strive to be excellent in your life, in your own self, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, you will find your purpose and you will live a good life. And you will not be miserable every day because you're overweight or because those are some of the things I want to talk about here as well. When we're on the podcast that's coming up, stepping up, because you got to step up to yourself. You got to step up to take care of it. I lost 70 pounds, and I work out every day, and that's why when I walk out, I feel good. I smile at people. I don't get to roll out of bed and can't get up. And, you got to take care of yourself. That's what this program is, a self-caring program. If I learn to love myself, I can love others.
It's interesting because Tommy dropped 70 pounds. I dropped almost 80 now. And I don't know what the time frame was on that, but for me, this was within the last year, and I just came to a point where I said, okay, because I was, I didn't want to do knee replacement because I'd had triple bypass. The doctor said, we really don't want to do major surgeries with anybody that's had a triple bypass if we can help it. And I'm thinking, okay. And it came back to the Serenity Prayer thing. What can I do? What's the part that I can do? There's a lot that I can't, but what can I do? My back was fused. It lost some of the whatever things you call it in the back, and it got messed up. And there's nothing I can do about that. But what about the knees? What can I do about that? And I thought, okay, I don't like this, but I can drop this weight.
That's right.
can drop this weight, and that'll take all that weight off those knees. And so I did. And I couldn't believe it, Tommy. I couldn't believe that it actually happened. Roger knew me when I was heavier.
Yep.
You know, when I first met you. And so do I still have problems with walking because of my back? Yes. Do I have problems with my knees? Not really. I mean, I get a shot in them every 6 months, you know, now. But I can't remember the last time that I hurt so bad that just standing up, I had to sit back down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When did it happen for you? When did you, I mean, was there something that happened that said, okay, I can drop this weight, I'm going to do it?
Well, you know, I was talking about Frank, and I lost Frank a couple of years ago, and he was, like I said, he died clean, but he died from COPD. He had a hole in his stomach from eating bad. When COVID came, he would sit on the couch smoking because he couldn't stop smoking. I went to his wake. And when I was there, his family was there. I saw his grandkids. He was a strong man. He was probably one of the strongest men I know. And I said, man, and people were saying, well, at least he didn't die from addiction. He didn't die he died natural causes. I said, he didn't die from natural causes.
Yeah.
That's self-inflicted. And I'm sitting there 270 pounds and I having trouble breathing, and it was during COVID. And I looked at myself, and there was this book I bought called Change or Die. And the front cover said Change or Die. And when you turned it around, it was a different color. It said Change or Die. And it talked about statistically how hard it is to change. And we think we're the only ones. Yeah. And it talked about health problems. And I said, I'm online. And as clean as I am and as spiritual as I am, I was mentally okay. I wasn't mentally okay because if your physical is off, your mental is off. And,
sure.
And then your spirit suffers. So this is a physical, mental, and spiritual disease. So then I went on this mission to lose. I think I started real fast. I lost about 40, 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I've maintained it for almost I'm in my 5th year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's amazing.
And it changed my life. Physically, I work out, like I said, every day. And I lost another friend right after Frank. Same thing. Just had a massive heart attack in the middle of the night. You know, so it's things like that make you either you wake up or you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we're looking forward, listeners, to this new podcast, Buddha Time. Step up to the front of the line. It'll be posted. The first debut show will be posted Friday, July 4th, right here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. Please look forward to it. Bookmark it. Make a note of it, if you would. If you'd like more information about it, or if you want me to send you a note to remind you, I'd be glad to do that. You can email me at take12radio@comcast.net as well. Tommy, give the listeners your current website right now.
Oh, it's the About Me one. I don't have the exact. Hold on, I don't have it.
Is it
About Me, Tom Dudley? It's there's a link for it. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, we'll post it on Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Yeah. I don't have it in front of me because it's the way they have it. I have a Google Doc one.
Right.
I don't really use that. Make a website. I just put it in a Google Doc and it's attached to this About Me account.
Right. And people can go there and then they can go see some of the things that you're involved in already, and listen to some of your music. So we'll have it.
I'm also on Instagram and under Blues Buddha. So if you go to Blues Buddha on Instagram, if you go to Blues Buddha on Facebook, you'll get all my stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things we're winding down here, but one of the things I want to talk about really quickly is something that Roger says a lot, and you and I talked about it off the air. Roger, you make the statement, I have no valid complaints.
Yep.
No valid complaints. And I was telling Tommy, I told that to my orthopedic surgeon the other day. He said, how you doing? I said, I have no valid complaints. And he just laughed. He said, I've never heard that. I'm going to use that. And he says, you don't have any complaints? I go, oh, yeah, I complain all the time, but none of them are valid. They're not valid. There's no validity to them.
Right.
And that phrase, and I know it's referring to more to alcoholism, but we cease fighting anything or anyone, including alcohol. I'm so done fighting anything or anyone. It's just why. It's just, okay, so the neighbor's lawn is unruly. Okay, either go over and offer to mow it or shut up.
Yep.
So what? Take care of your yard. Your yard looks nice. Yeah, our yard looks pretty doggone nice, tell you the truth. Well, the other day she was actually out there mowing it. Oh, imagine that. There's just so much that we don't need to make a big deal about. And there's so much that we can make a big deal about. So, Roger, how did you come up with that phrase? I just love it.
So it's my first few months of sobriety, and I walked in to this guy named George C. I said, George, how you doing this morning? And he said, I have no valid complaints. That was almost 29 years ago, and I said to myself, I'm stealing that line because it's true. I literally don't, and my mindset works that way. If I feel a complaint rising to my tongue, I get upset and I try not to say it. I don't like negativity. I don't like complaining. I got way too many things to be grateful for. I am so blessed beyond measure. I'm blessed by the best, and I don't have a valid complaint.
Blessed by the best, I don't have a valid complaint. Ooh.
My father was a gambling man, and he used to say, "You're playing with house money."
Yeah.
You're playing with house money. This is everything I have right now is an extension of what I should have been gone a long time ago. If I had stayed out there, I'm not saying this in any bragging way because I ran hard, I wouldn't have lasted another year or two because I was near death when I got here, and I know probably the same for everybody else. But it's like I'm playing with house money, and if I don't let other people share the house money, then there's something wrong with me. But I will say, the last thing I'll say about this is, it's not that I don't have complaints, because if you don't pull the weeds, the flowers can't grow.
Very true.
Yeah.
Right? So it's about what I focus on. That's the difference. I don't focus on the weeds. I just pull them. And then I focus on how to grow the flower. And that's our goal here.
This really speaks to Dr. Alan Berger's, I consider him the emotional sobriety guru. I mean, the guy's amazing. It really speaks to something, and I'm just going to mention it. He didn't ask me to do this, but sitting here right next to me, 12 essential insights for emotional sobriety, getting your recovery unstuck. And he talks about this very thing. So it doesn't mean that what somebody might say doesn't hurt or sting, or a situation that's out of your realm of control doesn't irritate you. What it means is it doesn't knock you off your emotional center. It doesn't take you out. Because you can't deny the fact something hurts, right? But it means it doesn't control you. The way we respond to it is totally different. And it's an amazing thing. This thing that Bill Wilson called emotional sobriety, the next frontier. Unfortunately, he didn't live long enough to expound on it more than he actually wanted to. But I think there's some people like Dr. Berger that are doing a very good job doing that. And certainly, Tommy, the way you live your life, your attitude, this podcast is definitely an emotional sobriety thing. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. Again, Friday, July 4th is the launch date. Static will be our guest. It's Buddha time, you guys. Step up to the front line.
Step up to the front of the line. Step up. Stop wasting your time. Woo!
Tommy started singing and my pen just jumped off the desk. So we're really, really, really looking forward to that. Before we close out with a really awesome, positive song by Karen Taylor Good, Tommy, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm looking forward to this because I've been looking for this, avenue to express the positive thoughts in my mind. And, the people that know me say, oh, here he goes again. But the reality is, like I said, I'm playing with house money, and I'm grateful that we connected again.
Yes.
And it's been a really, really good thing for me. I was up all night because I'm writing this song, I'm doing this, and I said I had to be here, right? So I went to bed at 2. I woke up at 4 to finish, and then I went back to bed at 9, and I woke up at 11:30 to come here at 12. 12 whatever 30. So
Right.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. We can't tell.
Yeah. Yes. Stifle yourself, Tommy.
I'm trying my best.
But I guess, Roger, closing thoughts.
Well, I just it's an exciting new show that I can't wait to hear and hopefully be part of that. It's just great. I love your energy. I'd like to meet. Where do you live in New York?
I live now in Peekskill. I'm originally from Yonkers.
So where is that in terms of New York City?
About 40 minutes above.
So I'm going to be back there in September.
Come
with the Came to Believe guys, and we should get together.
Yeah, let's.
What's in September for
Came
Came to Believe in New
So
York?
it's a celebration of Dr. Sam Shoemaker's church, Calvary Church. They're having.
Oh, it's the gala or
It's
or
the
whatever
gala,
you call it.
yeah, and I'm going to go. I'm
Gala.
not missing that. I'm going to go to it.
Is it gala?
Is it in the city?
Well, it's at wherever Calvary Church is that Sam Shoemaker
Oh.
was at, that Bill Wilson went to, got saved there, and
Well,
Ebby Thatcher
right.
and all those guys. It's got to be
When
in
you're
New
here,
York
you should
City.
you should go to Bill Wilson's house. It's not far from where I live.
I'd love to do that too. We'll talk more on that for sure.
Yeah.
I want to go to that.
We'll go. We're leaving right from the Las Vegas retreat, and we're flying to New York, and then coming back.
Oh, you're leaving from the Las Vegas retreat.
Well,
Okay.
It happens
Well-
right after. I mean, a day or
Right
two.
at the yeah, so we went because we're driving to Las Vegas for the
Right,
retreat.
then fly to New York if you want to go.
Then we did end up leaving our car. The Goose would have to be left in Las
Well,
Vegas. We'd have
mine's
to
going to
find-
be staying there too. So whatever.
Well, the Goose will protect the White Knight.
Whatever, dude. Have you ever heard a goose protecting the white knight, Tommy? Have you ever heard
Not
a
really.
goose protecting a white knight?
Let me tell you something.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
Yeah, it's a
There's
fairy
power.
tale.
There's power in the Goose.
Oh, what?
You have a Kleenex.
Yeah.
Have a
We
Kleenex.
Tommy, we both have Chrysler Pacifica vans. His is white, mine's gray. Mine's the Goose. His is the White Knight because he had
Who's
to
the
get
gander?
the gander. That's a good question.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, there's power in the Goose.
Power in the Goose.
There's more power in the white knight.
All right, July 4th will be the launch date for the new podcast.
Buddha time.
Buddha time.
Buddha time.
Step up to the front of the line.
Buddha time. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all goosey bumps
Yeah,
and
I'm
everything.
already excited.
Yeah, me too. All right, our closing song. You guys are going to love this. This speaks to the whole attitude that we've been talking about. Listen to the words to this by Karen Taylor Good. It's entitled, Get a Bigger Pan.
I was standing by this fisherman out there on the bridge. He bagged small one after small one, put 'em in his little fridge. Well, then he caught himself a whopper, and I watched him throw it back. I couldn't help but ask him, hey man, why'd you do that? He pulled out this little skillet and said, see, it wouldn't fit. It was none of my business, but I couldn't help it with. He'd get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan. When you got big dreams, for heaven's sake, don't throw those dreams back in the lake. It's not that you can't have it all, you've just been dreaming way too small. Get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan. I've been thinking like that fisherman more times than I can count. Every time I felt unworthy, ran myself down. I'd get it all. I've just been dreaming way too small. I'll get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan. Okay, I've got it figured out. For self-esteem as well as dreams and trout. Get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan. When you got big dreams, for heaven's sake, don't throw those dreams back in the lake. It's not that you can't have it all, you've just been dreaming way too small. So get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan, get a bigger pan.
Karen Taylor Good and her song Get a Bigger Pan.
Get a bigger pan.
It's Buddha time, July 4th, Friday. Step up to the front of the line, my friends, with Tommy Buddha, our brand new podcast here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. We are excited for that. Please bookmark take12radio.com on your internet dial, on your browser. Subscribe to our shows. You'll get all of our podcasts for fun and for free. A special thank you to our guest, Tommy Buddha, of course, Roger McDermott. And until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, along with the rest of the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for each and every one of you.
Don't let the weights of the past keep you down. There's a melody here to turn it around. In each story and song you'll find a friend, a chorus of courage that'll never end.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.